While we were on that tour within the building, we got to a point and they say, we want you to listen to this. And they played a song that was recorded in Malindi in 1908. And they had all the metadata. And already, like I said, we were doing these sessions every school holiday. And then in 1972, that year, our dad passed on in August. So we had to go kuzika nini. And after that, when
your dad passed on?
Yeah, in August 1972.
Okay.
After everything was done, when I came back home, then my bro had brought in a few friends and they were rehearsing at the servants' quarter. That's when everything started now. I was not in the band then because I was very small, very young.
Yeah.
But I would stick around them and just learn everything, nearly all the songs they were rehearsing.
Okay.
Eventually I started out as a singer, not a keyboardist, not an instrumentalist, because of that. So I was a singer in the band. Come 1972 is when now we gelled and became a band. Back then, Avenida Success, but then 1972 on December, The Mushrooms.
So why The Mushrooms? Was it one of those? The Mushrooms.
Initially, it was The Mushrooms.
Yes.
But then Chedi, my elder brother, who founded the band, said, you know, our peer bands, hapa jamaa wanaitwa the Spartans, the Peacemakers, the Vikings, it's the everywhere. Let's call ourselves them. And the people will ask, you're asking now.
Yes.
So that's how the name came up. And we had a debate about it, but he insisted and we accepted.
Yeah.
So we became Them Mushrooms.
But why mushrooms?
Mushrooms because within the compound where we were living, the mushrooms used to sprout just near the gate.
Okay.
So that inspired him. And he said, you know, when we asked him the same question, he said, you know, we'll grow like the wild mushrooms. We'll grow like the wild mushrooms everywhere. That was his response. At
this time, are you guys looking at the Jackson 5 and thinking we are going to be the Jackson 5 of Kenya?
Not really. Not really. Their music was not here yet.
What?
The influence was mostly from Congo and Tanzania.
Okay, explain this to me. What even inspired your brother to build? What did he see? You know, I say in order for you to dream, you need to see.
Yeah.
Without seeing, you can't dream. Without hearing, you can't. The seed has to be planted from somewhere.
Yeah.
What did you guys are talking about buying instruments in 1972, practicing with instruments. That's already on another level. But what did your brother, where did he see? Who was he listening to? Who are you guys aspiring to be like?
Okay, probably we didn't aspire to be like anyone. We were just doing it's a calling, you know? We were just doing what was bubbling in us and trying to do it to the best of our ability, with whatever we could lay our hands on. And
but you must have seen some bands.
That time, most of the bands that came to Kenya were Tanzanian bands. They used to come, have performances at the entertainment center back then was Tononoka Hall in Tononoka area. So Morogoro Jazz would come, Tabora Jazz would come, Nuta would come, and my bro, he's being the eldest, he used to sneak out to go to listen to them. Sisi ilikuwa tuwezi. So he used to sneak out to go listen to this, and that in a way inspired, you know, him to want to jump into music.
I get it.
Indulge. And but I guess God had put the music gene in all of us.
Okay.
And then we just found ourselves gravitating towards music, although we were very strict on our academics. You see?
Yes, of course.
So all of us went through that very well. But then music was...
It was that fire inside that it never, you can't extinguish it. It can just be increased.
Exactly.
But I've heard you talk about, then that means you've heard you talk about something incredible, which is there were groups coming into Kenya performing from Tanzania.
Yes. That was the in thing then.
So this bongo flavor that you think is taking over now...
No. Even they dominated the airwaves. You know, Mbaraka Mwinshe, the Nuta jazz that I'm talking about. And then later on, much later, DDC, Milimani Park, you know, all these, they dominated the airwaves.
What?
So we started out playing covers of Tanzanian music and of course Congolese music, the Dr. Nico, Bavon Marie, and later on, what do you call, Franco.
Yeah.
So we were doing covers of that at weddings when we started out.
Yes.
We would just go to during the school holidays. That's when the weddings were held.
Yes.
And we would go back there and ask the band that has come to perform, hey guys, when you're taking a break, can you give us a lift? That's what we call them. So when they are on a break, we would come in, play whatever we could, and then we go home and we are so happy. Hey, leo tumepigia gitaa la stima bana. Gitaa la moto bana. Ulisikia ile microphone iko iki? This is incredible. So that's the way it started out.
Okay, man, this is good. Then you're listening. So again, it's Tanzanian and it's Congolese that you're listening to, but the word is that you're listening to, and that means there is radio.
Yes.
So tell me then about this radio. What air is it? What frequency is it?
It was Voice of Kenya back then, not Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. Voice of Kenya.
Yeah.
And it beamed across East Africa. It was, I think, one of the leading...
Across East Africa?
East Africa, yeah. It beamed across East Africa. So people throughout eastern parts of Central Africa could pick the frequency, the broadcast.
Hold on, and that frequency would leave Kenya?
Yeah.
We were beaming our frequency,
yes,
not just across our country.
No.
Across East Africa.
Yes. Kenya is a leader in many things, man. Okay. And that's one of them.
Yeah. And man, who are the kind of shows that you were listening to?
Back then there was Ching Ching Ching. I can't remember the name. And then, oh man.
Taking you back, a good one.
There's this guy from the coast, he passed on. Isaac Job Mwamto. A very versatile presenter, and we just love listening to him. And later on, came in Kina Leonard Mambo Mbotela, my schoolmate Billy Omala, and
Tony Msalame.
Tony Msalame, our main man. Tony really promoted our band. Really.
Yeah.
And Kina Elizabeth Obege, Hadija Ali, Salim Ali Manga, all these guys, And they took pride. And then, of course, our hometown boy, MDJ Eddie Fondo, So they took pride when we came of age and started recording. They took pride in playing our music. They made this band, man.
This. And that from radio. So, and what was the frequency? Was that playing 24 hours, 365?
No. Initially, it was, I think, up to midnight.
Then
wanafunga paka asubuhi 5 tena.
So it would start around 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But of course, it's not music throughout. It's news, everything.
Yeah, news, other programs, social programs. And they played a lot of traditional music too. Yeah.
And who are the traditional music, and how are they recording the traditional music?
I think they had some in their archives. All these things were left behind by the British.
Man. So the British went around this country recording us, recording our culture.
I'll shock you. I was at the British Library. I'm digressing a little bit.
No, digress a lot.
At the British Library in 2008, we were in a team on a study visit. And we get to the British Library. They were taking us around the place. And
this is in the UK?
Yeah. And they asked each one of us, where are you from? Oh, I said, I'm from the coast, now Kilifi County, back then Kilifi District or Kaloleni. And while we were on that tour within the building, we got to a point and they say, we want you to listen to this. And they played a song that was recorded in Malindi in 1908. And they had all the metadata.
Oh my God.
You see, something hit me there and then. 2008. Nikasema, wow, from ile nimeona hapa, the mushrooms has to do an exhibition. Because luckily, God gave us the grace or the idea to archive almost everything about the band since 1972.
No way. What does that mean? What are you saying?
We have photos of the band dating back to the 70s. We have all our music on cassette, on vinyls, on CDs. We have all the masters.
What?
On reel-to-reel tape.
What?
We have every magazine that has mentioned the name, the mushrooms. Newspaper cuttings. We have an archive of some of our old equipment, an archive of some of the band's attire. It was by God's grace. Not that we knew one day we were going to hold an exhibition. We just found ourselves, the three of us, Teddy, myself, and Billy, my brother. We were just, archiving things, and we had not told each other. So when I got this idea in the UK, because I knew I had so much.
Like how many? That means you have thousands of photos.
Yeah. I archived the first keyboard the band ever bought. It's called a Tiger. We have it to date. And I said, look, I have that. I have a camera that our dad gave us. You know, that type that you pull the front like this? A Kodak.
Yes.
On it, it's written, manufactured in 1908.
Wow.
So I have that. So when I was in the UK, I said, man, I'm going back home. We have to have an exhibition. 2008, God's timing is now. We are going to have that exhibition at the Goethe Institute starting from the 23rd of November this month. It will run for 14 days right through to the 7th.
So the 23rd of November 2023,
yes,
all the way until?
December 2023.
Okay.
The 7th. So we're bringing, not everything because there's a lot, we're just bringing some of it. Of course, we've digitized a lot of it.
Yes.
So some will be on soft.
Okay.
But you can imagine, nearly all the shows we've had within the country and outside, we took hard copies of the posters, we archived. So we have all this stuff.
This is crazy. Okay. In fact, can I put like 3 photos just to show people?
Kabisa.
Okay.
Kabisa.
Here guys are some pictures of, this is like 6-7 photos maximum.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this interview is not just supposed to show archive photos. We're having a conversation, but while I'm talking now, you can be seeing just some of the photos. Anyway, now let me come back to the conversation. First of all, that's incredible.
I digress, Pole.
No, digression is part of the CTA formula.
Safi.
If you don't digress, then kuna shida.
Safi.
I must not be doing my job well. This is something I want to tell you. I have interviewed about 80 people. Some CTAs, if you notice, they don't have photos. Yeah. Some musicians don't have their videos. I have videos of that musicians don't even have of their own.
I believe you.
I have songs that musicians don't have of their own. Mm-hmm. The person who has blown me in terms of their level of archiving was one guy called Eric Msioka, mm-hmm, the first CTA that I did. But that first CTA that I did lied to me because it made me think this is how everybody acts. Until I now started recording other people and realized people don't even have their photos. But that is madness. From 1972,
yeah,
you have a camera that says 1908. Yeah. That That's a different kind of wealth that you have. Yeah. That's a museum called the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Not them. Okay, let me continue. I love the understanding that you're giving me of the landscape of media. But then I want to now touch, is there visual media this time? Because you've talked about radio, VOK.
Yeah.
At this time that I don't even enter high school yet, were you also watching any visual media?
No, actually there was none until I can't remember the year. I remember when VOK TV was launched.
Hold on. You were there when there was no TV.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
1958, man. I'm saying it for the first time on air.
Yes.
1958.
But
it'll sound like I'm a guka. Yes, of course I am.
Yeah.
But it's just yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
So it's just, you have to understand, I'm a bit blown away. I've never been there when anybody interviewed somebody where they were saying there was no TV.
Yeah.
So tell me then about the inception of TV. Hey, first of all, you're a young-looking guka. Eat these grapes. Man, hey, this sugar thing lies to people. Guys, no sugar.
Kabisa. I remember why it stuck in my mind. I remember my dad coming home and saying to my mom, wanaanzisha TV na nitaleta TV hapa nyumbani.
What?
So I think within a week, alileta black and white TV, a tiny one.
Yeah.
And then unaona hiyo and then it used to start, I think, from around 4.
Yes.
Up to 8. Kuisha maneno.
Done.
Yeah. Habari kidogo. The programming was not vast.
Yes.
So hivyo. But still, we would crowd, in the living room to watch TV. Tuna TV bwana.
Did you have vinyls and minus radio? Did you have anything that you were playing other kinds of music on? Were there records?
Yes.
At this time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
We had this, I don't know if I say this, gramophone.
Yeah.
It was in simple language, just a record vinyl player.
Yes.
We had this one which had a neck like a duck.
I've seen it in movies.
Yes, and then his master's voice was the brand with a big corn speaker like that. Not a speaker, it was, I don't know what they call it. So you had a winder, you wind, then imepata charge. Alafu unaweka.
Yes.
Imagine unaweka CD, there was advert. Aspro ni dawa ya kweli. Aspro ni dawa. And then I remember there was one vinyl that was there which I broke deliberately, but without anybody seeing me, because it used to sing, Johnny, Johnny, Johnny kweli ni mtoto mbaya. So in my little mind, I thought they were singing about me. And then, nilimtuma sukari, akairamba. I used to hate that song. So siku moja nilitime watu wako huko Kaloleni. Nikaichukua, nikaivunja, then nikatupa kwenye choo ya shimo. Nobody knew. Hii rekodi iko wapi mimi siulizwi. Nobody knew till today.
They found out pali Johnny alienda. Kwa choo. That's funny. But you said something that's also again shocking. That vinyl had Swahili music on it.
Yeah.
So where are they recording it?
They were recording in Nairobi.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come to that. That's a whole other session that we're going to come into. So now let's enter high school.
High school nilikuwa pale. I've always been into sports besides music. So I was in the swimming team, the football team, a little bit in the hockey team, but I didn't like it. So I stuck to football and swimming. And of course music, very, very silently, because it was taboo back then for kids my age to be indulging in music.
What?
Yeah.